The Lucanamarca massacre was a massacre of 69 peasants in and around the town of Lucanamarca, Peru that took place on April 3, 1983. The massacre was perpetrated by the Shining Path, the Maoist guerrilla organization that launched the internal conflict in Peru. Background: on May 17, 1980, the Shining Path went to war against the Peruvian state. The Shining Path was based in the Ayacucho region. In March 1983, Ronderos killed Olegario Curitame, a Shining Path commander in Lucanamarca, a small town in the Huanca, Sancos province of Ayacucho. The Ronderos took Curitame to the town square, stoned him, stabbed him, set him on fire, and finally shot him. The massacre. In April 1983, Shining Path militants responded to the death of Olegario Curitame by entering the province of Huanca Sancos and the towns of Yanacolpa, Aticara, Tlacuá, Mulacruz, and Lucanamarca, and killing 69 people. Of those killed by the Shining Path, 18 were children, the youngest of whom was only 6 months old. Also killed were 11 women, some of whom were pregnant. 8 of the victims were between 50 and 70 years old. Most of the victims died by machete and axe hacks, and some were shot in the head at close range. Shining Path members also scalded villages with boiling water. This was the first massacre committed by the Shining Path against members of the peasant community. Abimael Guzman, the founder and leader of the Shining Path, admitted that the Shining Path carried out the massacre and explained the rationale behind it in an interview with El Diario, a pro-Shining Path newspaper based in Lima. In the interview, he said, "In the face of reactionary military actions, we responded with a devastating action. Lucanamarca. Neither they nor we have forgotten it, to be sure, because they got an answer that they didn't imagine possible. More than 80 were annihilated, that is the truth. And we say openly that there were excesses, as was analyzed in 1983. But everything in life has two aspects. Our task was to deal a devastating blow in order to put them in check, to make them understand that it was not going to be so easy. On some occasions, like that one, it was the central leadership itself that planned the action and gave instructions. That's how it was. In that case, the principal thing is that we dealt them a devastating blow, and we checked them and they understood that they were dealing with a different kind of people's fighters. That we weren't the same as those they had fought before. This is what they understood. The excesses are the negative aspect. If we were to give the masses a lot of restrictions, requirements and prohibitions, it would mean that deep down we didn't want the waters to overflow. And what we needed was for the waters to overflow, to let the flood rage, because we know that when a river floods its banks it causes devastation, but then it returns to its riverbed. His main point was to make them understand that we were a hard nut to crack, and that we were ready for anything. Abimael Guzman. Aftermath. Ultimately, the Shining Path's war against the Peruvian state faltered, and Abimael Guzman and several other high-ranking Shining Path members were captured in Lima in 1992. On September 10, 2002, Abimael Guzman told the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, "We, doctors, reiterate that we will not avoid our responsibility for the Lucanamarca massacre. I have mine, I'm the first one responsible, and I will never renounce my responsibility. That wouldn't make any sense." On October 13, 2006, Guzman and Elena Iparraguirre were sentenced to life imprisonment on a number of charges that included ordering the Lucanamarca massacre. Guzman was additionally ordered to pay $250,000 to the victims. In January 2008, the Supreme Court of Peru confirmed that Guzman had ordered the killings and upheld his life sentence.